Today's Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. This is the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. This is going to be a fairly short update. I want to point out a couple of things that I've observed as it relates to our core operations, okay? And I'm referencing, at this point, the dashboard. And I've been noticing, generally speaking, that, energy prices have been very, very weak. We really, yes, we've had moments where, grid prices have spiked up, and that has been, certainly a positive during a good portion of Q3 2023, which is the quarter we're in right now. But lately, grid prices have been somewhat subdued. If nothing else, they've been quite low, actually. But regardless of that, when I look at, and this is like a real-time reading as of about 4:12 in the afternoon on today, Wednesday, August 30th, the hash price is currently 6.9 cents, which I think we calculated was kind of our break-even point based on a number of other assumptions that kind of go into that. I'm going to be revisiting that once we officially reach that 4 exahash of Bitcoin mining not capacity, because we have the capacity for 4 exahash, but really just, achieving that hash rate. I'm going to just recompute some numbers, just double check, where we're at. I think in many ways that our cost structure, there's opportunities for it to go lower. So that's a good thing. But even right now, all things being exactly the way they are at this moment, we're breaking even, which is good. Bitcoin itself has rallied as a result of the favorable court ruling regarding, the Genesis, the Grayscale Bitcoin trust, or at least the goal being, hey, let's convert it from, a Bitcoin trust into a Bitcoin ETF. So, that's still obviously a very positive, catalyst for the entire sector. But, today a lot of stocks took a bit of a breather, including Stronghold Digital Mining, which isn't surprising. But I do think that if you're somebody who likes the idea of really kind of, capitalizing on, potential explosive moves in stock prices, I think the market has already demonstrated that were there to be additional positive developments as it relates to a Bitcoin spot ETF, I think it's practically, in the cards, so to speak, that you are going to see a bit of a spike in stock prices. Of course, nobody can really predict the future, but I'm just suggesting, based on what we've observed, that seems to be a bit of a trend that is probably, from my perspective, safe to capitalize on going forward. I've been digging a lot into our operations, and as I said, everything, generally speaking, looks really, really good. I think reaching that 4 exahash milestone is a really, really big deal. Stronghold Digital Mining as a company has never actually been at this point, where all of the available slots in the data centers, at Scrubgrass and Panther Creek, have been filled up. So I think this is a phenomenally positive thing. There's something else from an operational perspective that I do think merits attention, which I haven't really talked a lot about recently, which is the approximately, I believe it's like 25 to 30 megawatts of end-to-end data center equipment, right? All that's missing is, hey, where do we place this, data center equipment? And then, of course, how do we go about filling up that space with Bitcoin mining machines? A decision with regard to where this data center equipment is going to be placed is scheduled to occur sometime at this point, probably in the next 30 days. Once that happens, it really opens the door for Stronghold Digital Mining, to basically move from 4 exahash all the way to 5 exahash. And I think as we go about this process of selecting that location, the so-called third site, not to be confused or conflated with the third plant, which had been alluded to in some of the early, Stronghold Digital Mining filings with the SEC. But this third site, where essentially there will be like a data center of ours with Bitcoin equipment inside of it, that, depending on what that location is, where it is, it could potentially open up the door then to future expansion. I'm not suggesting that's expansion that's going to take place in 30 days or even this year, but potentially there might be some additional runway for there to be more data center equipment and in turn more Bitcoin mining equipment. So we're heading into a holiday weekend here in the United States. It doesn't really officially begin until essentially, arguably the end of day on Friday. I think I'm going to be doing some field trips. I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff. Tomorrow will probably be our last update, at least certainly for the month of August. I'm going to be updating the Ziner.com informal, homemade Stronghold Digital Mining shareholder dashboard tonight at midnight so that it reflects 4 exahash as our Bitcoin mining hash rate. So that's going to be the new number as of midnight tonight. And then we're just going to have to see when we actually get official news from Stronghold Digital Mining that yes, in fact, we've reached 4 exahash. And by the way, here are the, Bitcoin mining numbers for the month of August. Who knows what'll happen tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it might be more probable, no guarantees, but that we might get all these updates basically sometime next week. With all of that said, let's stay positive as always. Let's be great. And I can say with certainty that we will see each other at least one more time again tomorrow ahead of the holiday weekend, which is coming up in a couple of days here. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.